$3. $3 back here.
Come on.
And just pay Randy up front here when you get around to it. Okay, show and tell. I'm kind of proud of this. They were wondering how.
There, turned a little box. And when you lifted it up, the necklace came up and it got rolling. So I thought, that's a good idea. Some of you have heard me talk about, I'm involved with Camelot. We have a lot of white quartz. So that's what's on top of it. And this was sold at our Quilla. And that's also the quartz with sterling silver. And when I decided to do this, I was trying to figure out how to mount this. And somebody said, go. And I laid out the different pieces of the quartz that I popped off the thing. She said, this looks like the best one. She picked it up and like, with copper. But the thing is, she used the best one, so I couldn't take and leave it on there, and so I did another piece of copper and then I did the silver. So that's how I came up with that. And of course it's walnut.
Here we have a pen set, just Randy's. Anything you want to tell us?
That is a double closed-end pen in purple Volo, based on a Baron's fountain.
And here's one from Bill. Want to tell us about this, Bill?
Yeah. Okay. This is a piece of madrone I got out in St. Paul seminar out there. Basically, it was around this diameter and about this thickness. So my question was, or my problem was, what am I going to do with it? How can I get a shape out of it? Well, I got a pleasing shape with it. I used a template. I have to, I drew a little template and got the shape, which I thought was nice. And then Mike Fertig, I guess it was last month, he did an apple bowl that he used a Dremel in, with the Dremel bit. I tried doing it. I wasn't too happy with it, but it did work out okay. And the finish on it is the first time I used it is that Watco natural and about 3 coats, and then I buffed it. But it turned out rather nice. But you're limited to what you can do with the shape. So that is the problem. I mean, it's kind of, you have to solve it, and basically that's it turned out.
So bowl, Mike's going to...
That's mine. That's good.
See it cracking. Do you use anything to fill the crack or keep it from advancing?
Yeah, I use a little CA glue and some sawdust. This is a piece of white oak. I believe it was last month. Martin was down at Buchanan's place. And they had cut an oak tree down and sawed it into planks. So this is a piece of waste that I got from the pile there. So I made a semi-hollow form here. I haven't finished the inside yet. I did a little stippling on the inside here, and I used some Formby's tongue oil, a couple coats of that, and then I buffed it up. So that's that piece here.
Was that green?
Yeah. Yeah, so I just kept turning it and dry it out by itself.
Was that the pieces that Martin had in his truck last month? Or?
Well, that's from that portion of that. He had some of that same. I think they took a couple down there. But this is a piece throwaway from a tree that he had cut into clamps and benches, I believe, out or something.
This is another here.
Yeah, this is another piece of mine here that I did a hollow form. I did it for Martin. This is going to the Yellowstone Bighorn Research Association in Montana. It's a piece of, what is it?
Lodgepole pine.
Lodgepole pine.
All the way from the Beartooth Mountains in Montana, and now it's going to go back.
They they had sent it to Martin. Martin goes out there once a year.
Once a year, yeah.
And he has friends out there and whatnot. They mailed this to them. Bob had given me a piece, and I turned it, so I'm giving it back to Martin, and he's going to send it back out to the people in Montana.
Mike, I see that that's engraved.
Yeah.
How do you keep that from cracking? Because,
Well, it was dry already.
oh, it's already dry.
Yeah, it was dry.
Even then, sometimes they don't
Well,
put it in.
maybe I've lucked on my side. You know. So it didn't crack. There's spalted and got some wormholes in here, so it's been hanging around, I guess, or whatever. So I have a hollowing system that I use to, hollow it out. And this is the end product. So it's going to go back out there and sit on, I guess, a mantle or find its way to the fireplace. One or the other.
Yep. It depends on how cold they are.
Exactly.
These yours, Steve?
Yeah.
Vaulted box cutters from upstate New York, and the bark on it didn't stay on, and in fact it was coming off when I cut it, and I just left it normal. I finished it with Bono, about 6 coats, and rubbed it. So that's that one. This one I turned out of, this is you from downtown Lancaster. And this was green when I cut it. It was wet when I cut it. When I turned it, and I turned it in 3 days and finished it in 3 days. One of the things about you, if you've turned it before, if you can get a finish on it as quick as you can, it's really, really red. You'll notice this is kind of a dull red. I left it sit for a little longer, and usually after 2 days, 2.5 days, you can keep it red. This one went a little longer. That's the color. And with a sapwood in it, made a pretty ring on it.
Do you know why it loses the red?
What's that?
Is that from like oxidizing something that loses the red? How come it loses the color?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's the question?
Why does the redness disappear?
What happens is, as the wood dries out, the fibers begin to separate.
Okay.
And just like when your skin gets flaky in the wintertime because it dries out and your skin actually looks lighter, it gets silvery.
Okay.
You've seen homes with unpainted wood on it, and that's the same thing that happens
So the
there.
fibers are actually separated.
Yeah.
So they're not dense anymore.
Yeah.
And it gives it a lighter.
Yeah.
One of the things I did find out with you, that redness, if I turned it when it was green, it was really wet. Second day, I left it sit just with shavings in it, on the lathe, in a bag. The second day, I put a coat of shellac on it, and it kept that redness, and it didn't get light. It remained real red. But that one, I didn't do that immediately.
Next bowl was Byron's.
That's it was one of my scrap bowls, something I was playing with, just nutsing around with. It's not real pretty wood. But we were playing with that liquid inlay stuff that you can get out of Utah. And I had some of it that had the, crystals in it, I guess, for lack of a better word for it. And that worked pretty good. You could pile that on and then turn it back off and get a nice finish. The stuff that doesn't have that in, the plain colors, are a bugger because it's much thinner. And so you have trouble. It wants to just run off.
I was going to ask you that. How did you put that in and keep it from?
Well, that was why I brought it, just to show. The way I got it in was I took masking tape and I taped over the whole thing, and then I took one of those oral syringes that they use for oral, put liquid medicine in your mouth, and I stuck it through the tape and just literally injected it. And you can watch the stuff go up around. Now, I don't have it perfected yet. I still had some holes when I was done, but then the holes aren't too bad. You can just go around and fill them up after you take the tape off. So it's the only way I found you can put it in on anything that has any kind of slope to it. If it's on the flat, it's easy, but if it's on the slope, it isn't. So I brought it more to show the technique. I still have to perfect it a little bit, but at least I got it that it works.
You mixed the hardness.
That's right.
How many times done with it?
Okay. Want to talk about your Jim?
Comes together in a little can.
I brought this to
That's probably 60.
this is my first attempt at actually doing something with bleach. I use a two-part bleach out here. If anybody has good advice on how to keep that running, but that's actually just a piece of sculpt. And it's the first time also I've done it that heat, so it was a little bit rattled the edge a little bit. Anyway, that was the second. Just curiosity about the bleaching process. If anybody can give me advice, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And this other one is a little piece of cherry coral. A guy at work had one of his places, he had a bunch of trees he was cutting down. There's a couple of burls all over. And I gave the other half to him. And then he said to me the other day, he said, well, I got this other tree about 15 burls on it. I'm going to cut it down. Everybody sort of gasped out of it. Then he informed me that because he liked the space, he's decided to buy himself a lathe. So maybe he could keep it himself.
Curtain pieces. Yeah. Two nice Christmas ornaments, nice long finials, and Norway maple. Okay. I'm just going to stick these in here. Safe way to pass them around. I can't read whose is this. That's fine. Spalded? Yeah. Maple?
Yes, that's a piece of spalted maple. I had a supply of spalted maple. Blank started out to be this big and about that tall, and I kept on whittling it down, trying to get a shape, so it wound up pretty tiny. But anyway, it's spalted maple, and that's got a salad bowl finish on it. And then because of that, I wiped it off. I also put some mineral oil on it just to see if I could bring up the sheen.
You saw the pen?
But spalted maple, I like the rest of that.